Gamers, we have the Ritual Festival, which is starting probably right around the time that you're watching this video or a day or two later. So basically, we're just going to be talking today about different decks that you could play for the event. As always, when we do these what should you play videos, I ask for help from the people in the Masterduel Central Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description if you'd like to join and participate in the next one. So as always, a huge thank you to everyone who did submit a deck list. And yeah, let's just check out the staples first. There's a couple of staples that are legal in this event. Actually, they did not ban a lot of them. As you can see here, pretty much all the main hand traps are here. The only ones missing are Droll, which makes sense because Droll pretty much completely shits on ritual decks, and Maxi is not here, so that's a W. I mean, I've said before that I think they should just ban Maxi from every single event in this game. If we can't lose Maxi in the regular format, at least make it so we don't have to see Maxi in events. Like, that would be awesome, right? So love to see no Maxi in the event. That's going to be a great time. The staples though are still really strong. I think Lava Golem, if your deck doesn't use too many normal summons, is really crazy because I think there's going to be a lot of negates going around. Keep in mind, Drytron and Burgers, surprisingly, can set up a lot of negates. So yeah, I definitely think Lava Golem might be a good pick. Also, maybe Harpy's Feather Duster because Dark Magician is going to have everything they need to play. I'm sure a lot of people have that Dark Magician structure deck and might be playing Dark Magician this event. So anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get into the deck lists, and after that we'll do the replays. Alright, so for our first deck list here, we're going to do Megaliths, and I want to give a huge shout out to EAF in the Discord. So, I mean, Megaliths is going to be just a great budget option if you guys want to build your own deck. You don't want to use the loaners, you know, because Megaliths are all pretty low rarity. You don't need any UR in the engine to make it work. Every UR in this deck is pretty much replaceable, so if there's a staple you don't have, although you should have them because they're all bundle staples, you know, you could just replace them with another staple that you prefer. This makes the deck a great budget option. And as for the extra deck, I mean, honestly, the extra deck doesn't really matter. Like, we don't have a lot of extra deck cards to choose from, so like, obviously, like, Master of Chaos won't come up. The only one I could really see coming up, like, seriously, is Dynamondo. Should definitely run 3 Dynamondo in almost any deck that can make rituals for this event. It's probably the best extra deck monster other than Herald of the Arclight that we even have in the event. So yeah, thanks to EAF, we'll have a replay for this, and moving on to the next deck list. Next up, we're going to give a huge shout out to Bidoof for sending over a replay and his list for the Nouvelles Hungry Burger archetype. His list is a little bit different than mine. He's running Book of Moon and Forbidden Chalice for some extra ways of targeting his own Berilabes or his own Confira in order to trigger their effect. That's pretty cool utility. I definitely respect it. If you were to ask me personally, oh, also he's got a third of the field spell and I don't, so L me, I guess. Personally, I would say if you don't have 3 of the field spell and you want to have a bit better of a build, in my personal opinion, I would remove 2 of these, either any of those, you know, any of these, I would remove 2 of them, and I would just go ahead and add, with all due respect here, add the Herald of Perfection as well as the Herald Ritual spell. These 2 together make your pre-preparation of rites a lot stronger. If you already have your Nouvelle plays, you can make some plays with the Herald of Perfection, and it's not too hard to get 2 or 3 Omni Negates turn 1, 2 off of the Herald and 1 off of the Chef's Special Recipe. So, you know, like, with all due respect to Bidoof, we will be showcasing your replay, but, you know, if you're asking me, I would definitely run the Herald of Perfection. It works so well with the Ben 10 engine. Ben 10 can search the Herald as well. So, like, in some scenarios, you know, you can go Diviner, send the Herald, add the spell, and then tribute Ben 10, add the Herald of Perfection. You know, there's, you know, I'm just saying. But anyway, that being said, shout out Bidoof. On to the next deck list. Next up here, shout out to Mazinger in the Discord, pretty much always showing up in these what should you plays, and bro pulled up with the sauciest of Vendread lists I've ever seen. This list is pretty crazy. It mixes Vendreads with the Prediction Princess and some incantations in there as well to glue it all together. This deck is pretty nutty, pretty nutso-butso. I actually got beat up by this deck yesterday when we were testing decks for the ritual event. So yeah, definitely a pretty cool deck. One of the few decks that actually has their extra deck monster as well. If Vendread is going to shine anywhere, it's in a ritual event, right? We do have a replay for this, and let's move on to the next deck. Next up here, huge shout out to Kenny Pickering from the Discord, and we have Drytron. So I mean, Drytron, you know, everyone knows them, everyone loves them them or hates them, you know. The one thing about this deck is you're definitely going to hate it if you face it, because the main game plan, as you can see from Thunder of Ruler here, is actually to skip your opponent's turn. So Amorfactor Pain can skip the main phase 1 of your opponent's next turn once it's summoned, and Thunder of Ruler can skip their battle phase, which basically means they don't get a turn, because if you don't get a main phase 1 and you don't get a battle phase, well, you don't get a main phase 2 either. You just go straight to the end phase. So yeah, pretty disgusting stuff. I can't lie. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Of course, you need to pretty much hard draw the Thunder of Ruler, so I don't think you'll be seeing this all the time or anything like that. But yeah, shout out Kenny. This is saucy, I guess. It's pretty gross, but shout out Kenny. Moving on to the next deck list. This one I won't be doing a replay for, but like I think it goes without saying that you could play Mekonko in the event. It's Mekonko, you know, you're going to go second. You're going to equip your opponent with the Axe of Fools, since we don't have the double-edged sword or whatever it's called. And yeah, you're just going to swing a couple of times and go for game. The only extra deck monster that really matters is your 1 of Herald of the Arclight for your 1 of Diviner. The rest of the extra deck doesn't really matter. I guess Dynamondo might come up in a very niche scenario. But yeah, it's Mekonko, you know. But let's move on to the final deck list of this video. And last but not least, shout out to YouTube Ray in the Discord. YouTube Ray is a notorious Dark Magician player. I think topped a Masterduel meta event of some kind with Dark Magician. So yeah, he knows his stuff with Dark Magicians. They do have an extra deck monster in Master of Chaos for this event, and they have a couple ritual monsters of their own, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of Dark Magician decks in the event, considering that it's just a structure deck. A lot of people got the Dark Magician structure deck, and it's a lot of fun to play. I don't know how easy it's going to be to win with this deck, but keep in mind, this is a festival. You don't need to win every single game. You don't need to be running the absolute best deck of the format to be getting your gems. So, you know, this is totally a valid, awesome option if you have the Dark Magicians. But anyway, guys, let's get into the replays. All right, so for the first replay, we're going to jump into Megaliths from EAF. So let's see how it goes. So we've got a Manju, a Fool, a Phaleg, a Portal. It's a really good hand. So we're going to start with the Manju to search out the Ophiel. Then we're going to activate the Megalith Portal. This is a really good card because you can use it to chain block when you summon a ritual monster. We're going to summon out the Ophiel using the hand effect of the Phaleg to search a Haggith. Then Ophiel ritual effect to tribute itself, summon out the Haggith. Haggith can search a spell, so we can search the Megalith Unformed. Then we're going to go Haggith effect to summon out the Foal using itself as ritual material. Summon out the Foal. Full effect, if it's ritual summon, you can target a ritual in your grave, add it to your hand. We're going to add the Phaleg and make our full level 8. Then we can use the Phaleg in hand, tribute it to summon out the Eratron, from our deck, trigger the Portal to add back the Phaleg to our hand, set both our Flash Spell and our Imperm, and we pass turn. Our opponent is on Dark Magician. Our opponent is going to go Preparation of Rites to search out a card. Then they're going to go for the Illusion of Chaos, fetching the Magician's Souls, dumping a Dark Magician to summon that Dark Magician. Then they're activating Dark Magical Circle. Maybe should have done that earlier, but it is what it is. They're going to swing into the Foal, and it's protected by the Field Spell. Then they're going to go for their Flash Spell to summon out the Master of Chaos, targeting the Dark Magician in grave. We're going to Imperm the Master of Chaos. Master of Chaos swing. We're going to use the attack reduction effect of Unformed to protect our Foal. Then on end phase, well, not on end phase, but at the end of our opponent's turn here, we're going to go for Betheor and just pop 3 cards, add back the Phaleg to our hand, and now the advantage being generated is probably really impossible to recover from for Dark Magician. Turn change, we're going to draw into a Veiler, pretty huge, switch all our dudes to attack, full tribute the Phaleg to summon another Phaleg from the deck, and now we've got a lot of attack to swing with, so we're just going to go in and swing. We miss lethal, so we're going to be passing turn here, and our opponent draws into a Magician's Souls, best top deck in the deck. Activate Dark Magical Circle, add the Secrets of Dark Magic. Magician's Souls, dump Dark Magician. We're going to go full effect to summon out the Betheor, and Bethor is going to get to pop 2. They're going to go for the Dark Magical Circle to banish the Bethor. We're also going to get our Megalith Portal to add back a card from our grave to our hand on summon of Bethor. They're going to also use their Flash Spell to summon out the Master of Chaos. So they will get to go Master of Chaos here, but we do have the Veiler to negate the Master of Chaos. So they're going to go to battle phase, swing. We will protect with the field spell, and it's back to us. At this point, we've already pretty much cleared it, you know. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good showing of just the amount of advantage that Megalith can generate, and especially for very cheap, right? This deck is like completely free pretty much. No URs whatsoever. So really solid showing. Thank you again to EAF. And let's move on to the next replay. Next up, from Kenny Pickering, we're going to do the turn skip replay, the turn skip Drytrons. Sounds pretty disgusting. Let's see it in action. Rocking the gold field here. Very nice, very nice. We've got a Altais in hand, Rastaban, Cyber Emergency, Drytron Nova, and Thunder of Ruler, and we're going second. So, well, we get to turn skip, but we don't get to skip the first turn of our opponents here. So they're going to go set up a Eternal Soul, a Magician's Restage. I've never seen this card in my life. Never in my life. Cool artwork, though. All right, so we're going to go Cyber Emergency, add the Thuban to our hand here. We're going to go for the Altis, tributing the Thuban to get ourselves a Benten, then tribute the Benten with the Thuban, adding back a Benten from our deck with the effect of Benten, then Benten search the Herald. We're going to go for a Herald of Mirage Lights, then we go Drytron Nova, summon out the Eltanin. Then we normal summon our Diviner, our first normal summon of the game, by the way, sending, of course, the Herald of the Arclight. Herald of the Arclight will search another copy of Benten. We already have our Amorfactor Pain here, so we're going to tribute that Amorfactor Pain and summon out the Mew Beta Fafnir. Then we're going to summon out the Aldiba, tributing the Benten. Benten, in fact, search a Natasha. We're going to go for a Meteonis Drytron to ritual summon from our grave the Amorfactor Pain, officially skipping our opponent's next main phase 1. And we have Thunder of Ruler set up to skip their battle phase, which will just skip their entire turn, basically. So now go to battle phase, do a little bit of swinging, you know, a little bit of attacking, a little bit of poking, you know, a little bit of everything. And now we activate Meteonis Drytron to summon out the Benten. Summoning Benten here, using these two, we go into a Dynamondo. Dynamondo effect, going to bounce the Eternal Soul back into the deck. Set Thunder of Ruler, pass turn. And in draw phase, we're going to go, standby phase, we're going to go Thunder of Ruler. And yeah, we're skipping their turn and just going for game the turn after that. Super disgusting stuff, but admittedly pretty impressive. Let's move on to the next replay. Next up, we're going to do Bidoof with the Nouvelle or Hungry Burger archetype. And yeah, I mean, look, again, I really think that Herald is the way to go. Well, you don't need the Herald. You can play without it. The Nouvelle cards are really strong, and they do a lot on their own. They don't, like, I've won multiple games without ever seeing the Herald stuff. That's just a nice add-on that you can get sometimes. So, pre-preparation of rights here to get Recette de Poisson as well as Berry la Baisse. Go Berry la Baisse summon, and we get to add to our hand the meat recipe. Then we're going to go for Berry la Baisse excavation effect and Benten search effect. So, we get to search a Diviner with the Benten. Then with our excavation here, we're going to get to reveal 5 from the top of our deck, and we'll add to our hand a Poissonnière de Nouvelle. We're going to summon out the Diviner of the Herald. Nice Royal Poissonnière, by the way. Send the Herald of the Arclight to search Balamenière. Then we're going to go for Recette de Viande, summoning out the Balamenière effect, and then we can trigger the Diviner of the Herald to special summon Poissonnière from our deck since it's been tributed. So we search the Field Spell with the Balamenière. Field Spell is going to search the Counter Trap, and then we're going to activate our Scale on Poissonnière de Nouvelle to target our Balamenière to summon Pueltis. Then Pueltis effect is going to trigger to draw, and we're going to get our Poissonnière into the Scale here. We summon a Dynamondo. We trigger our Nouvelle Restaurant to draw a card by shuffling a ritual into our deck. So we get to set an Imperm that we drew into. So we have 2 Imperm, a Book of Moon, a Counter Trap. If our opponent targets anything with an effect or an attack, well, we're going to get to activate Pueltis and tribute one of their face-up attack position monsters and go into Balamenière, which will also get to tribute an attack position monster. And then you can get to your Bale Grill, which will just wipe the opponent's entire board. So this is a pretty formidable board. I cannot lie. This is pretty impressive stuff. Let's see here. Opponent is summoning Storm Cipher. I don't even know what this card is, but either way, gonna go Book of Moon on Pueltis to trigger the Pueltis, tributing their attack position monster to summon out the Balamenière. Balamenière effect is gonna search out another copy of Balamenière, and our opponent's just gonna go to end phase. I guess our opponent didn't have really much that they could do after just that one interruption. So yeah, I mean, back to us here, and we're just gonna go in, right? Go Recette de Poisson, tributing the Benten to summon another copy of Balamenière. Then we can go Balamenière effect to search, Benten effect to search a Diviner of the Herald, Balamenière, add Fish Recipe. Then we're going to go for Diviner, send a Trias to the grave. Okay, interesting. Summon out the Pueltis. Then we can go Poésis effect to draw. We can activate the effect of Poissonnière to summon and search a Berry l'Abbesse. Then with these two, we can go into Dynamondo. Dynamondo can shuffle back a Benten into our deck to bounce the back row, activate another copy of Nouvelle Restaurant à Table, add the recipe from the grave, fish recipe, tribute to summon Berry l'Abbesse, and then we get to add back our meat recipe. Now we're going to go for Berry l'Abbesse effect to do the Emancipator style excavation of 5 cards, and we got nothing. So we go to battle phase, swing for 1, swing for 2, swing for 3, swing for 4, and yeah, we don't get to lethal. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really don't like Trias Hierarchia. I don't recommend it. Like, I just don't recommend it. I don't like it. I don't like it in this deck personally. Either way, we're going to be shuffling back to draw 1, and we're passing turn to our opponent here. Get a little, okay, our opponent just coops it up. Yeah, still a really good showing. Good showing. If you guys want to see more out of Hungry Burger, do check out my Hungry Burger deck profile that I just posted on the channel, and you'll get to see the Herald line as well, which is totally applicable even to the event. Pretty much every line in that deck, like that deck is completely untouched except for the extra deck. So if you watch that video, you'll get an idea of how I play the deck. But this was really good as well. Now let's move on to the next replay. All right, and second to last replay here, we're going to be doing YouTube Ray with the Dark Magicians. So let's see the Dark Magicians in the Ritual event in action. We have Dark Magical Circle, Advanced Ritual Art, Magician's Souls, Soul Servant, and Imperm, and we're going second against Resonators, it seems. I think this was probably a game in ranked or something. So going for the red Resonator, they're going to make a red Rising Dragon, target the Crimson Resonator. We're going to go Imperm on the red Rising Dragon. Our opponent's going to has another extender. What was that one? Synchron Resonator, summon out the Ancient Pixie Dragon, add back the Crimson Resonator from the grave, set 1 card, and pass turn. Oh my goodness, that one Imperm did a number on them. Alright, we draw into Eternal Soul, very funny. We're going to go for Dark Magical Circle, then we go Magician's Souls, dump the Dark Magician to summon Dark Magician, Dark Magical Circle, banish the back row, which was Imperm. Nice Imperm against normal monsters, by the way. Anyway, Soul Servant time, we get a single draw into Magician of Chaos, send the Dark Magician to the grave to summon out this Magician of Chaos. We can go to battle phase, swing over with the Magician of Chaos, and swing with the Dark Magician. Then we're going to use these two to go into Dynamondo for some reason. Oh yeah, because we have Eternal Soul and we want to set it up. Okay, just to set up the Eternal Soul here. By the way, Royal Dynamondo looking very nice. Summon out the Crimson Resonator. We're going to go Dynamondo here to special summon the Magician of Chaos from our grave so that we can banish their Crimson Resonator. Then in end phase, we're going to go Eternal Soul. Since we activated a trap, we can trigger the Magician of Chaos and pop their face down monster, as well as summon out the Dark Magician so that we can just pretty much go for game. Well, not really. We're missing 100 for lethal. They're going Ash Blossom here. Very rough. So we're going to go in and a swing. And now we're going to go Eternal Soul, bring back another Dark Magician. I didn't realize we had another one. And get that nice animation for the final swing. All right. Very good. Very good. Yeah, so, you know, it's definitely a deck that's going to have to get into the grind game, but I do definitely think that you're going to be able to get all your gems with Dark Magician in the event, even if it's going to lose a bit more than, like, Drytron. Like, that's not a big deal. It's a festival. It's not a ranked ladder, you know, so just enjoy the decks that you enjoy. Moving on to the final replay here. All right, and our final replay is going to be from Moz. I always keep Moz's sauce for the end because it's always super saucy. So let's see the Vendread Prediction Princess deck in action. So here we have Diviner, Scar of the Vendread, Prediction Princess, Bibliomuse. Our opponent is playing straight up Kashtira, so, you know, we're not messing around here. We're going to fast forward through the Kashtira turn because who cares, right? You're going to summon out a Fenrir, search an Ogre, activate Scareclaw Kashtira, banish the Kashtiosis from the grave, normal summon Ash Blossom, make a Shangri-Ira. They didn't even realize that they Xyz locked themselves, so they couldn't even make Burn the Flare. Wow, they suck. They're going to summon out an Ogre and standby phase summon a Unicorn with the Shangri-Ira. We're going to go for Pre-Preparation of Rites, adding Prediction Ritual and Prediction Princess Tarote. Then we're going to go Pot of Prosperity, revealing the top 6 cards of our deck to pick one. And which one do we choose? Ooh, Thrust is looking amazing here. Our opponent is going to go for Shangri-Ira, removing 1 zone, but who cares? We're going to go triple Tactics Talent, activate Talent to grab the Fenrir. Then we're going to go Herald, send the Arclight to the grave. They're going to go for Unicorn and Ogre. We couldn't give less of a shit because we're playing a Ritual deck anyway. It really doesn't matter. So banish 1 card from my deck. You banish Raigeki and Herald of Mirage Light. Like, who gives a shit? Go Fenrir to banish the Shangri-Ira. They're going to remove 2 more zones, but it doesn't matter because we get rid of the Shangri-Ira anyway. Summon out the Talisman, and we get to trigger the Scar of the Vendread in the grave, adding a Ravenous Vendread and a Revendread Slayer. Then we go for Incantation Inception to summon out the Revendread Slayer. Using these two, we can go into Dynamondo, and Revendred Slayer effect to trigger. So we shuffle back the Revendred Slayer, and we get to add a Origin from our deck to our hand with the Slayer effect. Then we're going to summon out the Battle Lord, tributing our opponent's Fenrir, and we're going to go into a Cross Sheep. So Cross Sheep, and we're going to activate... What did we just activate in the grave? I missed that. Anyway, we're still playing. We're still doing things, you know. We got the candle searching the Underworld Ritual of Prediction. Ritual of Prediction set... Ravenous Vendread set the Revenant and Ritual Summon Scavenger from the graveyard. Then we can activate Prediction Ritual, sending to the grave a Princess Bibliomuse to summon Prediction Princess Tarote. Man, these names are hard to pronounce, dude. Then we can go for Underworld Ritual of Protection to set the Tarot Treath. Then Tarot Treath is going to set the Pot of the Forbidden from our deck. Then we're going to flip down our Tarot Treath with its own effect. Swing over their monster with Cross Sheep. That doesn't happen very often. Scavenger, banish their Ogre, and we're just going to swing here. So we're literally destroying Kashtira with this deck. And this is literally a Ritual Event deck, dude. So anyway, we have a bunch of cards set here. We can flip up our Tarot Tray to flip up a couple of cards. We're going to go for Pot of the Forbidden to look at our opponent's hand and shuffle back their Kurikara into the deck. They're going to summon out a Fenrir. We're going to go for the effect of Scavenger, banishing their Fenrir and calling it a day, dude. It was really hard for me to keep up with that. Sorry if I got lost in a couple of moments in that replay, dude. I don't know much about this deck, and some of these cards I just don't know at all. Like the new Prediction Princess stuff I have not played with. But yeah, as always, super fire replay for Moz. I give it a 5 out of 5 if this was a Rate My Replay, but it's not. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. It helps me out tremendously. And make sure to subscribe. I'd like to hit 20,000 by my birthday in early March. We'll see if we get it. If we don't get the 20,000 subscribers, it's okay. I won't cry about it. It'll be fine. It'll be cool. But yeah, have fun with the event.